There he is, the one and only Robert Whittaker. Robert, how are you?
Good, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, mate.
It is our pleasure. You're a hard man to track down, Robert. So I really appreciate you doing this, and it's great to see you in good spirits. So can we start at the beginning? When did you get injured, and could you tell us what are the injuries? Because I heard there were multiple that you were dealing with.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think a lot of my fans and a lot of the general populace know that I have no qualms of going into a fight injured. I've gone into many fights injured. I went into the Yoel Romero fight with a torn MCL. I went into multiple fights with broken hands, and that's never deterred me. And during my prep and then my camp, I did my hamstring. I did blow my hamstring out, but I was willing to work around it. So we just worked around it, drilled on the wall, no explosive sort of stuff, and then I got an abscess infection, and then that absolutely knocked me out of the park. And I was on clindamycin, some antibiotics for that for weeks, and it was just really getting out of hand. And we were still very, very much, oh, we can make this work. If we cut out the 3 weeks we've lost now, we can turn it around still. We can just focus on fitness and skill sets and just get it done. And at the end of that, when I was thinking, maybe we're not able to fight, I got chicken pox as well.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
And it was the sickest I've been in my entire life. And my coaching staff, I was still, and I'm a fighter. There's a lot of other fighters that say, oh, we can still do it. And if they were to say, you want to fight Luke Rockhold tomorrow, I'd be like, yeah, all right. But the thing is my coaching staff come to me, my family said come to me, and they all went to me and sat me down and almost like an intervention and said, Rob, there is zero chance you're going to be able to fight. And even if you did get in there, it is such it is so unsafe for you to go out there with no prep and your body as weak as it is.
Wow.
And I have to listen to them. I have to listen to my coaching staff. That's what they've done. And that was the call. I was talking to the UFC, and they completely understood. They were actually very, very courteous towards my illnesses. And it was absolutely gut wrenching. This is Perth headline. This is a pay-per-view event. This is the country that I'm representing. And for me not to defend my title here was just it was gutting.
Yeah, once the reality set in and you finally made the call that you wouldn't be able to fight, how did you react? Like were you depressed? Did you you're feeling like crap, but now you're not getting this. This whole show was built around you, right? This was your big title defense in Australia. How did you react to it?
Yeah, it's funny. Like when I was going through the sickness, and I had the infection, and I had the chicken pox, and in the heart of that moment when I was bouncing both of them, I didn't care about fighting. I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about I was so sick. I was like, my skin feels like it's on fire. I was fevering. I lost a week in like a feverish mess.
Wow.
So at that point, I didn't care. But afterwards, when you start to feel a little bit better, and everyone's been there, and you start to feel a little bit better, and you start to think to yourself, maybe I could have done this. Maybe I could have fought. And that is when you start to get real depressed, and then you go on Instagram and you see everyone like fight week or 2 weeks out, and you're like, oh man, that should be me.
Abscess infection, you said. What exactly is that, and where was it? Was it in your stomach? That's what Dana White said.
The thing was, I had an abscess on my bum, and it was infected, and it was like a big pus buildup, and the antibiotics that was on the clindamycin, when you take long courses of that antibiotic, it can develop a colon bug.
Oh.
So after about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks on this, the only reason I was on this antibiotic for so long was because the infection was just knocking me out of the park. Like I just could not recover from it. And then I had to get a whole bunch of colon tests and stomach tests to make sure that there's no hole in my stomach.
Wow. And so what is wrong with your stomach? What, if anything, is up there?
Right now, I've turned the corner. I've been I've gone get all my tests done. I've dropped off the antibiotics. I was in hospital a few times, and just under observation and just making sure that it's all clear. The immune system's obviously taken a big hit, but I'm on the up and up now.
This may be the first time that I hear that a fighter gets chicken pox. Was that related to what you were dealing with the infection? Was there any relation there?
I don't know if it's related, but like some of the symptoms from the infection could have been the onset of chickenpox, and mate, like I I find it hard to tell people. I was like, yeah, I got chickenpox, and they laugh at me.
Wow.
But like, it was the worst thing I have ever gotten. And I was on the phone with my mum, and I was like, why didn't you get me vaccinated?
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm sure I did. And my face was covered and like my skin burnt. I was like, I'm pretty sure you didn't.
That was actually my next question. Most people get it when they're young children, the vaccination. So apparently you never got it.
Yeah, no, like when I thought of chickenpox before what I've just been through, I thought of, little red dots all over your body and they're itchy.
Yeah.
No, these were like blisters from head to toe all over my scalp. And some of them were like, because I had so many, some of them were popping and getting infected. And then there were fevers and headaches and nausea. And it was the worst thing, not to mention the itch.
Wow. It's one thing to have a fight and have to pull out. But again, as I said, you were the headliner. It's your first title defense, right? Did you feel like a responsibility? Like, oh man, I can't let everyone down. Was that what you were battling as well?
Definitely. And I think it is a responsibility of mine to get in there and to fight and defend the title, especially it being in Australia. But it took a lot out of me to come to the conclusion that, yeah, there's zero chance I'm going to be able to do this.
Right.
Because, like I said before, and, a lot of people have seen me do it before, is I fought injured. I fought on short notice. I take up these fights because I'm a fighter at heart and I stay ready. But this wasn't an injury I was just trying to work around. This wasn't, I couldn't even in the octagon, I couldn't work around chickenpox.
Right, of course.
I can't, with my torn MCL, I can be heavy on the back foot and I can move and let him come to me. With a broken hand, I can focus heavy on the other hand and kick a lot. This isn't something that I can just formulate a game plan to try and get around. It was it was an absolute nightmare.
And so now, how are you feeling today? Like here we are a couple of weeks later. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good now. Like I'm a little weak. I feel a little weak coming back from all the illness and obviously just because I was actually bedridden, and if you've taken 2 weeks off completely, it's a nightmare. I was 6 weeks out in bed and fevers and everything.
Jeez.
That was and then I come back a week out from the fight, and I think to myself, there's zero chance I could have gone in there and confidently said that I could have won.
Right.
And then and this is funny because you have to take the good with the bad. All things happen for a reason and all that. Is that my wife is actually getting induced today.
What? Today?
So yeah, today, because we found out on the weekend, like, the baby's not growing at the right rate and all that. So they wanted to speed it up a week. So if I was fighting in Perth, I would have missed the birth of my daughter.
Wow. When are you going to the hospital to do this?
About half hour after I speak to you.
Oh my Lord. So I mean, this is a blessing in disguise, right? You'd have felt horrible if you missed this, right?
100%. I'm very big on family, and yeah, I can't let my wife go through that alone. And I was actually supposed to go to Perth. I was going to go out to Perth at least and watch Rockhold and Romero fight because I have an invested interest in them, but also to get out there and see the fans and my friends and family that all booked tickets to go out there and watch me that I couldn't do. But now obviously I'm homebound for heading to the hospital.
Wow, that is unbelievable. What time? There's so much going on in your life. That is, I mean, amazing. I would agree with you that this is a blessing in disguise because no one wants to miss that. How did you feel about them doing an interim title fight? Did that bother you at all, or do you understand?
Oh no, it doesn't bother me at all. It's to be honest, for my number one and number two contender to duke it out before me, I'm 100% on board with that. It's like,
Yeah.
good luck to both of you.
Sure. Sure.
You know, interim title, and I've been there, so I understand. All that means is you're number one contender. It means that you're next in line for the title shot. And those two guys were always next in line, regardless. So I wish them all the best. They're going to put on a great show. I'm going to be watching closely, and yeah, that's gonna be a fight. As a fan of MMA, I'm going to be watching.
Sure. Are you kind of hoping that Rockhold wins because you haven't fought him before and it's a fresh matchup?
I'm gonna officially sit on the fence
Okay.
for that one.
I'm not asking your prediction, just who you hope wins for your own sake.
You know, it's hard. They both got they both got like top elite skill sets, both of them in their corresponding fields, and they're such different fighters. I'd like to fight Rockhold. I would. You know, he was ex-champ, and he's one of the best in the world. I'd like to fight him just for my own, you know, list of people that I want to fight. And Romero was a tough fight. He's a tough guy. That was to think about fighting him again for 5 rounds is like, wow, maybe I'm out of town that day.
Yeah. I can't imagine. It's not something you want to do twice. The way you became champion, one of the more unique ways in UFC history, because they just, you know, GSP comes out with the statement, and all of a sudden you're the official middleweight champion. That's not exactly how you probably dreamed of becoming the official champion. Did it not quite feel like, did you feel like, okay, I want to do this fight against Rockhold so that I can feel like I'm the champion, that I beat the guy, that they can put the belt around my waist and I'm the official champion? Or did it feel like you were once they told you that GSP was walking away?
I felt like the champion well before they come out and said it.
Okay.
I think a lot of the middleweight division considered me the champion well before they come out and said it. The middleweight division was in a funny spot for a long time with just the way things were panning out, who was fighting who, all these fighters that were coming out of the left field. Like it was all the matchups. They're all funny. Let's just say they're funny.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the rankings and the division, the way it should work is you have your champ, you have your number one, your number two, and the champ fights one, two fights one, three fights two, and you work your way up like that, you know.
Sure.
And I just feel like with George getting in there and proving to everyone the caliber of fighter he is, and that he can still get in there and do what he's supposed to do, and then the belt coming to me after, you know, I fought my way through some tough guys, the best in the division, and I feel this is like a return to normalcy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Did you ever feel like did you ever think there was a chance GSP would fight you, or did you never believe after he won the belt that he would fight you?
Oh, I was split. It was hard. I thought maybe, you know, if we fought in Montreal, we get a big pay-per-view, he may want to fight me because realistically, he doesn't have too much to lose with that fight. But yeah, there was always that part of me that thought, no, there's no way he's going to take that fight with me. It's a hard fight for anyone on a given day, you know. And you know, like he showed and he said, it's not his division. He's not built for the division the way that I am or any other middleweights are. So it was hard for him to get up to the weight and to utilize that weight properly.
So you weren't particularly surprised or disappointed when you got the news. You were kind of half expecting it.
Yeah, you know, I always knew there was a very big chance he was just going to take off and not fight. I was just hoping he wouldn't, you know, take another fight on the sideline and just hold up the division once again.
Sure. By the way, how did you find out that you were the official champion? Like how did that go down? Someone call you and tell you that?
Yeah, we were driving up to like an altitude training sort of thing. I just got a phone call and the manager goes, "Congratulations, you're the champ now." And I was like, "Yeah."
Wow, just like that? You didn't even, like, it wasn't even Dana White, it was just your manager who called you?
Yeah. It was just pretty low key, and yeah, it is what it is.
Did you celebrate that night? Did you go out? Did you party? I mean, it's a big deal.
If by celebrating we went out and did about 4 sessions at altitude, then yeah, sure.
Okay, wow. That is amazing. Definitely one of the more unique championship victories in UFC history. So to wrap this up, when could you like? Obviously, there's a lot going on in your life. You're about to become a father again, and that's amazing. Congratulations. You have to get better. Obviously, like realistically, when do you think you'll be healthy enough to fight again? What are you thinking?
I'm looking at mid-year. I'm looking at mid-year and I'm preparing for mid-year. Obviously, I can't just go straight back into training after 6 weeks off with illness, and then obviously this week's going to be disturbed with the birth of my daughter. So yeah, I'm going to have to rehab and get my immune system up and then strengthen my body again, and then that takes time. So I'm going to do things properly and then look seriously for mid-year.
Okay, and this is your first daughter, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh man, you're gonna love this. It's a whole different ballgame with the daughters. I have one myself, and with two boys before, and it's just a different. The boys are the best. I love them, but it's just different. Everything that everyone tells you about having a daughter is true. So get ready for that.
I cannot wait. I've heard that across the park, and
Yeah.
I'm so pumped to be idolized.
That's right. That's right. I can't thank you enough for doing this. I know there's a ton going on. Your wife is a saint. She's probably getting ready to go to the hospital right now. Here you are talking to me of all people. And by the way, that's a cool room you got there. Is that like a theater? What is that you have there with those chairs?
uh, no, this is just like my upstairs, like parents retreat sort of thing.
Okay, I like it.
There's 5 kids running around the house, so.
Well, I wish you guys the best. Good luck, of course, at the hospital with the birth. I hope you feel better. I'm sorry to hear that all that happened. I know a lot of your fans were disappointed, but those are very valid reasons for not fighting. So I think a lot of people would understand. Thank you for doing this, Rob, early morning and before the trip to the hospital. And again, good luck to you guys as you welcome a baby girl. That's amazing stuff.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it every time you have me on.
Thank you, Rob. There he is, the UFC middleweight champion of the world, the one and only Robert Whittaker, the reigning defending UFC middleweight champion, the man who will have, as he said, a vested interest in Saturday night's affairs. He will be watching closely.